Starting it now, and I'm gonna have my son in the background, but that's what it is.
Dude, don't even lie. This game's better than Fortnite, bro. There's a setting though that I need to switch.
Refresh this.
Look, there's a setting in the dead zone. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, 1 second, guys.
I'll know what it is when I see it.
Refreshing this.
Look dead zone.
All
Look
right.
dead zone. You want on small or response curve classic?
I froze. All right.
Like
All right, guys. What is up? It is your boy Defness45, and this is In Depth with Defness. Today I have my boy UpNorth, Lance. Tell him what's up, Lance. How you doing today? Or tonight, I guess. I guess it is the evening. We have been doing nothing but screenshotting, sharing, whatever you might call it, for the man, the myth, the legend, the genius himself, to get this thing to a place where we feel comfortable using it. So, if you guys saw the first test run about 15 minutes ago or so, you probably saw that things should look a lot better now. Things should be set up a lot better now. It took him to actually be able to see it in motion to be able to make the adjustments. So, let's just dive right in. What up, Buckeye? We're doing our live launch here, our test run, if you will, with our boy Lance with the In Depth with Defness. So, Lance, a lot of you guys know Lance is a really good friend of mine, close friend of mine. We not only traveled to the National together this last year with his partner Joel, but we have also been to a lot of sporting events, games, Timberwolves, Twins, you name it. He's also a big hobby guy himself, and not only does he collect, but he actually is a business owner, if you will, in the hobby as well. Lance, you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, I don't got a gun.
Yeah, man, of course. So, as Jeff alluded to, my business partner's name is Joel Benton. You can follow both of us on Twitter at UpNorth Lance or at UpNorth Joel. Our business page is at the guys up north. And what we do is we are online.
Yo, this thing's OP.
Card shop. Not everyone is as fortunate as Jeff and I to have a hobby shop in their community.
Look at this. Watch this.
I know a lot of our Twitter community members are actually, the guys that go to their Targets or their Walmarts or their Meijer locations in their hometowns and trying to get cards just from retail because they don't have a local hobby shop. So what we're trying to do is we try to bring that hobby shop atmosphere to you online, where you're able to get decent pricing. A lot of times the pricing that we have up is negotiable as well. We have some things that we have to actually abide by that make us actually have to show a certain pricing on our website. Otherwise, we would actually possibly lose our allocations on certain products. That's just across the entire industry. So that's why you usually see a lot of the companies aligning on price. But what me and Joel try to do is we try to be more realistic, and we're not trying to get top dollar on everything. We're just trying to build relationships. So a lot of the stuff that we have on our store is usually $10 to $15 cheaper than the other guys that you're going to find online, like Steel City Collectibles, which they're great guys.
Yep.
We've done business with them. But we're trying to be a little bit lower than that. And I also try, if I can find local customers, I try to meet them in person. So Jeff's bought stuff from us. And,
Absolutely.
I'll try and deliver it to him, or I'll try and send it out to him as quick as I can. This past week, one of my good friends, Doyle, who's also a member of the hobby, he's at DC Piper 3 on Twitter. We met for lunch, and he bought a box of plates and patches off me. And I gave him a real good deal on it, too, because, I believe that, it's not about making money, it's about building up friendships and relationships as well. And, I hope he got some hits out of his box. I don't know if he did. He hasn't told me yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything yet. I haven't seen anything floating around Twitter yet, but...
No, he hasn't posted anything, but plates and patches is one of my favorite products.
I'm gonna chime in just for 1 second. So Lance said that not only he tries to actually deliver the product if he can, if he'll drive it to you. And I can tell you guys know that the last 24-hour stream that I did myself personally, he actually met me up. Not only did he meet me up at a restaurant, we had dinner, But he actually ended up driving me back. I was like 45 minutes from my house. He ended up I was gonna take another lift back. Lance actually just like, dude, why don't I just drive you? And he had his kids with him, and he's like, yeah, they'll fall asleep in the car anyway. They love the car rides. But that's the type of guy Lance is, like stand up dude. Great guy, honest guy. And Lance, where exactly can these guys find this product? If they're looking for it, where will they find it from you guys?
Well, you find it on our website, northstarsportscards.com. Or if you're, some people just like to do things through eBay. Totally get it. You can find us on eBay. We have a store, North Star Collectibles Inc. You can search for our store, for our username, and you'll be able to find us. We have tons of positive. All we have is 100% positive feedback. It's customers as far as Florida to Alaska. So I mean, I just sent something out yesterday to someone in Alaska. Played some patches to someone in Alaska. But you're always gonna we always try to give you a good deal on product.
He's like, oh my gosh,
and the other thing, like I said, you just gotta message us through our website or through our Twitter.
Basically, suspended him from like doing tournaments and training and stuff, and he has to go through
ask us what you're looking for, and we can see what we can do for you.
Yeah, and that's just it. If you don't see it, or if you don't see it on the site, just reach out to them if you're looking for it. Because again, they're gonna try to come in lower than anyone else you're gonna see online or any shops or anything. So they definitely have the product. They definitely, like I said, I've gotten plenty of stuff from them. I've pulled some amazing things, and again, a lot of times that's just luck of the pull, right? You have good boxes, you have bad boxes. There's in betweens, there's whatever. But
we have no control over what's in the boxes. We hope we give you some good, vibes and good mojo on the boxes, but that's just this.
Right.
That's the fun of cards. You never know what you're gonna pull. It could be, you could pull a Zion, or you could just pull some no-name second-round pick.
Right.
You're just gonna see the NBA floor and play the G League, so it's just how it goes. But just like you guys, we love cards. It's not just a business for us; it's something that we actually truly enjoy. Joel's a big Raiders fan. God bless him. Loves his boy Derek Carr. He might actually be kind of coming up with Derek Carr high and seeing that he might just be who he is today. But and for me, I'm a big New England Patriots fan. I'm wearing Vikings gear. Got to represent where we live.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Represent. Got to have some skull in us, right?
Yeah, got to have a little bit of skull in you. But the thing is that we love this so much that we just turned it into a business because I ascribe to what Arnold Schwarzenegger said. He says, do something that you enjoy doing, and then you'll never work a day in your life.
Right.
So, I want to do that. I want to live that way too. So, right now it's a business that isn't, providing an income stream for me and Joel. We're reinvesting every penny we get. We reinvest in our business. And, there's tons of guys in the hobby that are just like us. Some guys that come to $100 any breaks. They're passionate about what they do. They love their customers. And that's why I think people are drawn to them. We're kind of on the other side of the glass where we're like a hobby shop. So, we're not necessarily in front of everybody, but we are just as passionate about sports and just as passionate about our teams and cards themselves. Got some pretty cool ones downstairs in my office.
Oh yeah, the office. So Lance, we kind of jumped to the today in the start of this whole thing. Let's kick it back a little bit. Let's go back to the days of when did Lance actually fall in love in the hobby or with cards, I guess, in general, or sports cards. When was it? Yeah. Do you remember that time? Do you remember kind of what your first pack of cards or box of cards was, and kind of what was going on that time in your life?
Oh man,
we're taking them back, guys. We're taking them back.
Probably my earliest memory growing up is my grandma would actually send me sports cards. So it's
awesome.
Kind of interesting. I didn't get to see my grandparents. They both lived on the East Coast, so I didn't get to see them a lot because I lived in the Midwest. And I remember my grandma would send me Pro Set, NFL Pro Set.
Oh yeah.
So
searching for Santas.
Yep, I would search for Santa cards. It'd be like in the Pro Sets. They also had like the Europa League cards too.
Oh yeah.
So that's my earliest memory, and I was probably, I think I was 5. I was 5 when when I was opening those
Wow.
cards, 5 and 7. But then, like a lot of members in the hobby, I took a long hiatus. I stopped collecting cards when I was about 12 or 13, and kind of just forgot about it. And then when my first daughter was about to be born, my wife and I were like, we need to find something that's kind of ours, that can
Right.
help us decompress away from our kids. And so I was like, what, I'm gonna just
There's no way I just
open
sniped
some packs of cards and see what it's like. And I started out just going to the local Target, and I would pick up Allen and Ginter because I loved Allen and Ginter, just the vibe, the designs, and that just rekindled the passion. So, that was in 2014, about 6 years ago, and I've just been opening cards and enjoying myself ever since. My first hobby box that I opened when I got back in the hobby
Yep.
was Topps Tier 1.
Nice.
Like the hemlock was
online.
single tap.
And like a lot of people probably that are getting back in the hobby, there's so much going on.
Right.
But that's when I remember that's my first, most fondest memory was NFL Pro Set when I was 5. So.
So it took a little hiatus. Probably got a million cards, using up all of your allowance every week, getting a bunch of junk wax throughout the years, and then decided that, this isn't as fun anymore. I just got millions of cards, and they seem like they don't have a lot of value to them. So I'm going to take a little break. So what was, or what has been the... Let's start with what's been the greatest card or the coolest card. It doesn't necessarily have to be value, because again, on my channel I talk a lot about value, where value in cards can mean a value on something can be so different in a wide spectrum for so many different people, because if it's somebody you PC, or if there's some type of connection with the player or the card, how you got it, whatever. But what is the most, I guess, prized card, best card that you've pulled in terms for you, as far as your time within the hobby and opening product?
Pulling cards,
Yeah.
like actually opening them up. Like I say, buying cards is a little different,
Right.
You get exactly what you want when you.
Yeah, what you've pulled first, and then we'll go to what you bought.
Yeah. I think probably the coolest pull I've had, my own personal pull, because I used to do group breaks myself and host those with Joel before he moved to like the online hobby shop. I'd say the personal pull for myself would probably be pulling like a Topps Clearly Authentic Ronald Acuna rookie card.
Ooh, yeah, that's a nice one.
That one to Sean. It's in Sean's huge Acuna collection right now.
Oh, Sean got it? Of course he did.
Yeah, that's what I used. I sold that to fund. I took my dad to the AFC Championship the year that Patrick Mahomes lost to my Patriots.
Yeah. So
I think that's a good return there.
So let's hold there for just 1 second. So again, guys, we find connections and we find ways within the hobby, and whether it's a card we've pulled, something crazy we've gotten in our collection, whatever, and being able to, maybe sell it or get rid of it, to then build a memory or build memories with family, friends, etc. Like he just said, going to an AFC playoff game. I mean, that's huge in Arrowhead. His Patriots. Now we know we know you have some crazy Tom Brady's. We know you're the Tom Brady, the GOAT, some may call him, collector. What is your top Tom Brady, in your opinion? It doesn't have to even be, again, value as far as what a Beckett would say. What's the most prized Brady you have in your collection?
I mean, I love my 2000 Upper Deck Black Diamond. That's PSA graded, and it has autograph from Tom on it. That's pretty cool, but that's not my favorite one. My favorites, I have a 2002
65 again.
playoff ticket of Tom Brady's. And
nice.
So something that I'm slowly trying to build is I'm trying to get a playoff or a championship ticket, Tom Brady card from every year, contenders for every season that he's been in the NFL.
Nice.
So that 2002 one's really cool.
No,
I mean, it's not super valuable. It's only worth maybe a couple $100.
Yep.
But it's just a really unique card. 2002 is kind of like, when Tom really started to come out. as well as 2001, 2002, 2003, that realm.
Right.
But there wasn't a lot of cards for Tom those after that first year, so the 2001 and 2002 versions of that card are really special to me, just because they're just unique and they're different.
Right.
And they're really hard to find in a good grade. So they're not graded. I usually go raw, just because sometimes the grades are fudged a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So there's video stirring, and I actually made a tweet earlier tonight about what the heck's going on. There's like 300 of the same video resurfacing on my timeline where Edelman and Brady and them were at a college basketball game, and Edelman said Brady's coming back, and Brady kind of had a look like, what are you talking, like kind of like a cringe look. What's your thoughts, man? You think your boy's going to be back in New England again this next year, or you think he's gone? You think he's going somewhere else?
I think Tom's reserved the right to go somewhere else if he chooses to, kind of like Joe Montana when he left to the Chiefs.
Yep.
I think he's wholeheartedly earned it. He's taken pay cuts at every corner that he could to be able to better the team. And why not in the last couple of years of your career get selfish and make a little bit extra coin and play for a team that's a little bit more championship ready than the Patriots are. Not that the Patriots can't put it on, but I think that they have a lot of needs that they need to fill. One of which I would love to see.
Right.
Right. But the thing is that he ain't gonna be around. He's gonna be gone.
Right.
But I think that Tom, there's a couple of realistic landing spots that make sense for him. I think Tennessee's one of those.
Tighten up.
They got a great defense. They've got tremendous weapons and great running back. And Derrick Henry. So I could see that's where he lands. But I think that Julian could also just be just poking fun at Tom, just like
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's just it. That's just it. And that's the funny thing, and that's what you get. Some people that buy into these things so quickly, and it's like that's why there's on Twitter there's 300. I'm being over dramatic here with how many there are, but there's so many on my own timeline from different people, because some people read it as it really doesn't mean anything. Some people take it as, it must be a sure thing, or it's for sure not a sure thing because of the way he gave Edelman the look. But man, I didn't even recognize Edelman, to be honest with you, with his beard off, shaved. Dude, it doesn't even look. He doesn't look like the badass, excuse my language, football player that he is with that beard shaved off. It's insane. It's crazy to me. I didn't even recognize him, man. And he came down with the what's the dude's name for Syracuse jersey? I don't know what's sporting that.
What he needs, he probably had to clean shave. He had to shave himself up after jumping on that car in California.
Oh, nice. Oh, so what are your thoughts? You've expressed a little bit. You've been in a lot of my streams, just like on the way to games and whatever, and we've talked a little bit about it. You do bust retail as well, but you're more a hobby-driven guy. I mean, you guys sell hobby boxes. You don't really focus on trying to get retail to sell retail product. But you always had your little deal of,
OBH, baby.
Yeah, always buy a hobby, right? So, I mean, to other collectors out there, collectors coming back into the hobby, some may say, depending upon what you say, well, you sell just hobby. But I mean, what kind of advice would you give if you had a new collector coming to you? What kind of advice would you give them as far as what kind of route to take getting back in the hobby, like where to invest money, or where maybe don't say invest again, because on my channel I try to say that we're not business driven. You're a business guy because you have it on the back end, but you're also a collector at the same time. But we don't want to try to use invest. We don't want to angle it as a business. As a collector, how would you I guess if they were looking for a map or a way for you to help spend their money, what you think would be the best way for them to spend it to get the most out of it, I guess.
I'd say the first thing that you need to not do is don't have a fear of missing out on the latest trend of what's going on in the hobby. Because if you're jumping in right now, everybody and their mom wants to buy anything basketball related.
Optic. Right?
Like I mean, Donruss Optics the hot release right now.
Yep. Optic.
And the thing is that even in retail stores, they're getting cleared out as soon as they're laid down by those distribution companies that are putting them in the stores.
Right.
The thing is that what a lot of people end up doing is when they do finally see it and they buy the whole thing, they buy every pack. That might be $400 or $500 worth of cards that you're just buying.
Right.
And for every person that you see that's pulled, a Donruss Optic Zion, there's a ton of other people that haven't.
Right. Right.
They're just not posting about all the money they've spent. I remember when Prism came out before Optic. There was guys that we're talking about dropping $1,000, $1,800, and they didn't get any silver Prism Zions. So, I'd say the biggest thing is don't chase what's the latest and the greatest. Now, it doesn't mean you can't be curious. That's just
right.
Nature. But I'd say focus on your favorite player, your favorite team, and sometimes maybe look through a couple different blogs. There's a lot of great blogs that you can Google and you can say how to get back into card collecting, and you'll get results from people such as Beckett or Cardboard Connection, or there's a lot of great Twitter guys that have great blogs as well that might pop up, like Wax Pack Hero might pop up. Those are all great blogs that can kind of help you to realize that you're going to come in and there's going to be a whole lot of stuff that's available to you, but you just need to kind of slowly ease yourself in. Now, I think sometimes there's kind of a sticker shock when it comes to hobby prices, but that's just because that's where things are in the hobby right now.
Right.
And box prices are around $100, $200. If that's a little too rich for your blood, you know what? Go try some retail. Now, don't go into it thinking you're going to get anything crazy. You could, but that's not the norm. That's not the norm. So if you're just wanting to kind of see what a product's like, you can buy some retail of that product. Or, man, we live in a great age where YouTube's available, and there are people that are ripping every product out there. There are
breakers,
product reviews.
Yep.
And they talk about the cards, they talk about checklists. So if I was to give them a piece of advice, it'd be start slow. Don't miss out. Don't have the fear of missing out on something tremendous. And focus on what you like. Focus on what you like, because card collecting is about what you enjoy, not to your point about not investing, or this is not an investment. It's not that you can't have investments in cards. It's just most of us, that's not our main aim, we're not trying to build collections for serious profits down the road.
If you look down, you could easily see your
player team.
They can't see me though.
I think one thing too, to kind of spin off what you said, like with the retail and the hobby, that as far as product or buying product, it's all right if you're the guy that, it's all right for you to do whatever you want to do. But I guess what I'm trying to go with this whole thing is you say a hobby box for a lot of products is $100 or $200. Too often do I see guys on like Twitter that get upset or post, and they said they ripped 6 or 7 or 10 blasters and 10 cello packs or whatever, and they didn't get anything, and they're like going, "Come on, Panini. Come on, Topps. Like, this is ridiculous. I didn't get anything." And I brought this up in some of my other streams in the past. Yeah. But where if that was a hobby box, unless it's optic basketball, because you would still only be halfway there or a quarter of the way there at 6 blasters or whatever to a $400, $500 hobby box. But sometimes I think we don't realize, and I've done it myself. I mean, usually I know what I'm spending, but you get so caught up in certain product, and then, oh, it's in front of my face. It's at a retail store. Now, yes, if it's hot like optic, basketball, whatever, yeah, it's probably the right thing to do to jump on it. But there can be other product out there that we're like, oh, well, it's all here. I'm going to buy 5 or 6 blasters, and there's no guarantee out of it. Yes, it's a fun rip. Yes, it's, and that's what you're paying for is the entertainment factor, the enjoyment of it. But if you're someone who's going to get upset that you're not getting a hit or something out of it, you could have easily just spent that 120 or 140 or 100 or 180 bucks on a hobby box that would have guaranteed a hit. Now, whether you're going to pull, a big auto, or it's going to be a pitcher if it's baseball, or, some no-name, football player, what have you, that's a different story. But if you're concerned about hits themselves, your best option is always going to be going hobby. And again, I bring this up because I think a lot of times we go into retail stores and we spend a lot more on retail product than we know or we think we are.
A low price point that gets you.
And we're sitting here complaining about a hobby box price.
Mm-hmm.
And again, optic basketball is ridiculous for hobby. Yes, $400, but there's a lot of product out there that's very reasonable, $100, $200 a box. And I think we don't realize how much we're spending. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember seeing a thread on Twitter, earlier in the summertime.
Wait, who's that?
When Top Stadium Club came out, someone had bought I think.
I remember that same one.
They bought 10 blasters or 10 to 12 blaster boxes, and they were complaining about not getting anything. Really, Top Stadium Club's not just about hits; it's about short prints and super short print cards.
Right.
Variations as action shot cards. But the thing is, they were complaining about it, and the thing is that a Top Stadium Club, $75 a box.
Yeah, hobby box.
For a hobby box, he could have got a couple hobby boxes, and he would have got the hit. He would have got the hits he was looking for.
No.
He would have saved some money.
Yep.
But that's just how some of us do collecting. Some of us, we see the lower price point, and we say I have quantity. I have quantity, and it's at a different price point. Whereas the thing is that it's a guaranteed thing with the hobby box. Now the other thing about that's great if you have a local hobby shop is you can go in and you don't have to buy a hobby box all the time. Sometimes you can just buy hobby packs right out of the box. So instead of paying for a $75 box at Top Stadium Club, pay $6 for a hobby pack.
Right.
And I've done that with I take my 3 and my 5-year-old to a local hobby shop here in the Twin Cities called 3-Star Sports Cards, and I let them they buy junk wax packs, but they also get to help me pick one hobby pack of whatever they choose. I mean, they'll choose baseball one day, they'll choose football the next, whatever it is. And I'll say more times than not, I end up getting a hit.
Yeah. We go to the card shows, and he has the daughter, and there'll be there'll be one hit in the box, and she'll be going through, and here's the auto, boom.
NBA Hoops has one autograph in the entire thing.
24 packs or whatever it is, I think.
One pack.
Yeah. Fresh box. It's just crazy. It's insane.
So it's part of the fun. It's part of the fun is the chase, trying to get great cards, but don't make it your sole aim because you'll get really bitter really fast.
Right. All right. So let's do this. And then what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm not trying to ignore you guys. It's just until I get another monitor. Yes, I need a third monitor for this so I can easily read chat. I kind of have to look away or look to the side, otherwise I mess up everything. We'll have a few questions if you guys have anything, so think of them, and then I'll look at the chat and we can read them. But I want to dive into one more thing, and we didn't plan to go real long on this tonight. We'll have him and Joel back on another time, and we'll actually do an official one. This was to really test it and just kind of test the waters. But one last thing I got for you, and then I'll close it with questions if they have any. Where do you see the hobby in 5 years?
where do I see the hobby in 5 years? I see it still growing. I was following some stuff from the Top Summit that just happened, and I loved kind of seeing what they're as a manufacturer seeing from their perspective, because they
Uh
kind
huh.
of the eagle eye view.
Does it get
And one of the
following,
interesting
bro?
things that I saw was they were showing trends over like how many hobby shops they had um, that were that could buy direct, or how many hobby shops they had buying direct from them now. And in 2016, the number had dipped, but
Is he
then
dumb?
they showed this year
Is he
that it
dumb?
actually spiked back up
He's ran into it.
to numbers
Is that
that
you,
were
Phoenix?
similar to
Oh.
2012. And so I think, if anything, I think that there's a resurgence that's happening in the
Phoenix,
hobby.
shoot
I
him.
think that we've kind of come to this place where
Oh, my mic
yes,
was up
we
there.
have internet retailers like myself that are selling online, but I think that there are more and more opportunities, and I think there's going to be a lot more brick and mortar shops that are going to start reopening. Now, I'm going to tell you what, there's going to be some that are just like, it's like lighting the match. They're going to be there and they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
But what I think is going to end up happening is in these next 5 years, I think there's going to
I
be a
only have gotten
resurgence
gold
of the
armor
local
since
hobby
we
shop,
first ever played.
and I think that there's going to be some new blood that kind of gets into that particular market. One that I'm really excited for is Bugsy Breaks has been talking about opening their own store for
Right. Shout out
BCB.
BCB. Yep.
And so I think there's a lot of people that want to bring a hobby shop back to their community. And the way that you keep those stores going, guys, is you support them. You might get that lower price online by $5, but is it really worth that $5 savings when you could go right down the street and go buy it from somebody you know?
Right.
Now, and I'm saying this as someone who has an online business. Okay, so I'm saying, please support your local hobby shops if you do have
Wait,
one.
did I almost miss that, or did you have that in your inventory?
Because that's what I'm seeing it as a trend. I'm seeing the stores growing
No
and being
way, I
more
just found an
healthy,
R99 as soon as you
which
give me
in
that.
turn helps us as collectors have more options. If you guys get a chance to go to the national, I want to encourage you guys to go. It rotates every year. It's in
I'm
Atlantic
still
City
gonna use
this
the
year.
wingman, to be honest. I'm gonna do
But
R99.
if you go to an event like that, you will see
This
that the
thing's good for,
hobby
like, hitting
is
kids with,
alive
like,
and
range and stuff.
thriving. It is not dying. It is not stagnant. There is new
That's right,
technology. There's new players. There are new people that are coming in. And I know that people don't like, some guys like Gary Vaynerchuk that's come into the hobby, who used to be the guy at the local card shows as a kid selling cards, but he's back in the hobby for better or for worse. And the great thing is that I
The map
think
is way
is that
smaller
it's
than Fortnite.
going to bring attention to the hobby we love.
Right.
And I think sometimes we get into this
It
position
might
where
look big on the map.
we don't want any new people in our hobby.
Yeah.
Guess what, guys?
We need new people.
We need new blood. We need new people. And the thing is didn't we get into card collecting in the first place to share with other people?
Yep. Yep.
Not to
He's
just
only
kind
gonna
of be in
circle.
our basements, opening packs of cards. We want it to be a communal experience. Where I love what one of Jeff's sayings, where cardboard meets community.
Right. And that was created by Balls. Matt Ballsy.
Yeah,
Shout out
Balls.
Balls.
Yeah, shout out to Balls. But that's what it's all about. So I think that we're going to see a strengthening of our online social networks. I think we're going to see some more hobby shops come into the picture in the next 5 years. I think you'll have what I'm really hoping for in 5 years, maybe in the next 5 to 10. I would love to see the licenses not be exclusive, and I'd love to see kind of that more open competition across all brands. Because I think that's where real creativity comes into effect for these companies. When you have exclusive rights, it's kind of like Madden,
Not level 1.
Madden bullied out 2K Sports, right? Just got an exclusive and just killed them.
I dropped some. I don't remember where though.
So I hope that in the next 5 to 10 years we could also see maybe those exclusive licenses, which I know some of them run through 2022 to 2025.
Yeah, I think Tops or somebody just locked it down to like 25 or 26 or something like that. I don't remember.
So we're 5 years away from that. I'm just hoping maybe when this next round of contracts come up that we can see it kind of just open back up, because great that, you know, you got the exclusive license, but I know the collectors as a whole have been crying for those old brand competitions to heat back up. So those are things I see in the next 5 years, as well as my hobby shop continuing to grow.
Yeah, right on. And again, guys, like what he said earlier, like with his product, if you guys, even if you see it on the site, if they got it priced at something, just shoot them an email. You know, don't obviously expect to send them an email and you know be asking $50 cheaper than what they're pricing at, but just get a feel. Shoot them a message and say, hey, what's the best you can do on this for me? You know what I mean? Like if you're seriously interested, it doesn't hurt to ask. The worst thing you can do is, you know, is you could say no if it's just not in the realm or not in the cards. So, anybody got any questions at all for Lance before we wrap this up here tonight? So as we got him on here. Unfortunately, let me just look at a couple things in chat. Brady's leaving all the greats, have left their team at the end. Buckeye said he thinks Brady's leaving all the greats, have left their team at the end of their careers. Might be.
I agree. I mean, I'm of the notion he's leaving. I've been preparing myself for months for that, man.
Yep. Patrick's on the way. Will you be going to the National? Of course, Balls. Yes. I'll answer this for Lance. Will you be going to the National? You can answer it. Will you be going to the National?
Will I be going to the National?
Yeah.
Me and Joel are going to the NFL draft this year as part of our product research. So if we have a good April and May, I'm very hopeful that we'll be able to do the draft and the National this year.
They're going to the National. We're all going to the National. Anybody else got anything? Nothing? I think Brady is coming here to Vegas. All right, guys, it's all good. I know it's kind of a wing thing. Now these going forth will be planned out. I'll let you guys know way in advance who is going to be the guest. I know Buck City Breaks. There's a list of people. I know Buck City Breaks is probably going to be one of the ones at the top here whenever they get back to me and let me know when they can do it. Chris and Adam over there. But we'll have them planned out. Again, guys, it's Lance, my boy Lance, brother of mine, a friend. I thank him for everything he does. I love him. I respect him. He puts a lot of time on the back end in my channel and in just me personally. I mean, he's done a lot for me. And again, I just want to say thank you. You're awesome, man. You know, we sit here and we scratch our heads going through things, and then all of a sudden it just clicks with you all the time, and you figure it out. Like, you just figure out a way to make it work and make it happen. So, again, all of this would not be possible without this man right here that we have on screen. So, big shout out to him. Big shout out to him. And again, you guys can find him on Twitter at UpNorthLance. You can also find him and Joel's product at Northstar Collectibles. Or is it Northstar.com? Don't you have two of them? Is it collectibles too, or is it?
It's just, yeah, we couldn't get that one. We had to go Northstar Sports Cards.
Sportscards.com. Yeah, that's right. It's Northstar.
Yeah.
I screwed that one, but I never have to go there because I just hit you up with a text or whatever. You got what product you got to buy. So, all right, guys. Hey, I appreciate everybody joining tonight. I know this was just kind of off the whim. Yes, Airtime will have his Airtime trivia in the morning, so check that out. It's always a good time. He's always got great stuff. Put some notice out. I appreciate all you guys watching. Again, that's Up North Lance. I'm Defness45. And until next time, fam, love y'all.